3, 2. Hey, everyone. Welcome to your creative journey. My name is Kevin Gregg.
I'm Paul Carganilla.
Welcome to the show. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You might as well, since you're here. Go for it. Say who it is.
And I'm Everly Carganilla.
Everly Carganilla. I'm very sorry. I've got to include you in the intro for our show. Everly, we're going to tell people what we do on the show. This is a podcast that is designed to help people get their creative work done, whether they're an actor, writer, singer, dancer, painter. What else could they? I'm going to go to Everly on this one. Everly, what are different creative things you think that people could be in their lives?
I think firefighters, because since when I was 4, I've wanted to be a firefighter.
What else? What other jobs could creative people have?
They could
be a unicorn tamer.
Whoa.
Time traveler.
I don't want all these things now.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I've got a bunch of those right behind me, right here.
Oh, that's
hiker.
A hiker. You could be a creative hiker. Yeah. Listen, no matter what you are, no matter who you are and what you're doing, we're here to support you and to also show that you can get your creative work done. Everly, we're going to say hi to a whole bunch of people here because there's a whole bunch of people right now that are joining us on YouTube. They're so glad to be with you tonight. By the way, for our listeners of the show, we've got Everly Carganilla who's visiting us. She's an actress. She just happens to be Paul's daughter, and she's been involved in a whole bunch of awesome like commercial work, television shows, movies. She did a movie with Jennifer Garner called Yes Day on Netflix. She just had a show that's been on Netflix called The Chair with Sandra Oh. She's got other stuff that's coming up. We got to say hi to all of these people here. Look at this. We've got Dana Middleton saying hi. Charity Swanson's out here.
Hi.
Word on the street is that you guys just got back from Hawaii and there was a picture of you reading Dana's book, right? Yeah. The Infinity Year of Avalon James. Yes. How was that?
Thank you so much, Dana. I love it so much. I haven't even got to finish it because I haven't got time, school, but
I get it. Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. So glad to have you here. First and foremost, let me check in with both of you guys. How are you? We haven't seen each other for a while, Paul, but the both of you guys just got to go to Hawaii, which was amazing. Yes?
It was.
The only thing that wasn't amazing is that my brother got hurt and my mom got hurt.
Oh, really? What happened? Paul, give me the details. Everly will sprinkle in the color commentary.
Well, I think it was our second to last day there.
No. Start with Noah.
That's what I'm doing.
Start with,
it was our second to last day there, and we had just spent the whole day at the beach in this beautiful beach, and we were heading back to the car, and he was running through the parking lot in his sandals.
Yeah.
And he went down and got some pretty gnarly cuts on his knees from the parking lot.
What happened? Did he happen to trip, or Everly, did you see this when he wiped out, or what happened?
I saw him, I heard a kabam.
Yeah.
And then I turned around and I saw him face first on the ground.
Yeah.
Whining and crying
Now, here's the big question. Was there blood when you saw it? Was there blood?
Oh, yes. It was like this and then blood drizzling down.
So where was it? Was it on his hand or was it on his face or his nose?
It was on his knee.
Oh,
mostly his knee and his elbow. We were scared because when we turned, he was face down.
Yeah,
it could have been a lot worse than it was. He cut himself pretty good on the knees, but it didn't wreck his day. And then our last day there, Jamie was snorkeling. We were out there snorkeling, and go for it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
She was out there snorkeling.
And Everly, had you tried snorkeling at all or no? Or is it?
No.
You can't do it yet. Okay. So your mom's doing the snorkeling. Good.
I chickpeed out.
You what? I'm sorry. Please explain. You chickpeed out. Is that what you said?
I chickened out.
Oh, you chickened out. Okay. Yeah. Just checking. That's all.
And there's this place called Capilano Bay. That's where Noah's was. And Mommy was just snorkeling. Thankfully, this was our last day there. This could have been a lot worse.
Sure.
I was making a sandcastle with my friend Theo, and then Mommy cut her foot so bad by the coral.
Oh,
like,
no.
So deep.
Wow.
Deep.
So your mom wasn't, was she wearing fins at the time or no? She was just doing it barefoot?
No.
So she got cut bad. Wow.
Yeah, it was like this deep.
Oh my gosh.
Deeper.
Hearing it in this bay, she mentioned Kapalua Bay, there were these like 2 resident ocean turtles, sea turtles.
And they were like kissing each other.
They were so cute and beautiful, majestic. Like it's like you're staring at a miracle happening. And they'll come right up to you.
Yeah.
Obviously you can't touch them or anything. So she was just hanging out, floating in the water, watching them, and she kicked and didn't realize how close she was to the rocks, and she cut her foot pretty bad. And that put stitches,
I'm assuming. Yeah.
She should have, but it was our last day there, and she was just like, I'm not going to urgent care right now. And she regretted that ever.
So now wait a second, because here's the thing, right? Because Everly, you've been seeing this too, right? Because I mean, the fact is, like, when you're talking about coral, that's like it's kind of live. It's an organism, right? And it's like, so what's the deal, guys? Did she get like infection and stuff like that, or what happened?
We're glad she didn't.
We cleaned it. We cleaned it really, really well. And when she
was doing this Instagram story, so guys. It was like this. So guys, it's gonna hurt really bad. Oh no! She like looked over and it was happening.
I just dug in with the alcohol before she even knew it was happening.
Oh, so you just went for him. Yeah. Wait a second, you just put live rubbing alcohol in it. That's what you did?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No,
just checking.
No.
I'm surprised you didn't use like gunpowder and a match to like seal up the thing.
At the first aid swab. Anyway, so when we got back, she heard all the stories, and so everybody's messaging her, if it's coral, you could die. And
my gosh,
she'll just
that.
And so
no joke.
When we got back, she saw a doctor, and he said, it's too late for stitches now, but it looks good, and you just gotta let it heal. And it's finally, that was 3.5 weeks ago now. And it's finally healing up.
Wow. She didn't have to get any extra stuff like antibiotic shots or anything like that, or any precaution? No? Good. Well, thank God.
And as Chloe says in the chat, sounds like a really bloody vacation. Don't let those 2 events that we just randomly started talking about.
It was also so much fun. I mean, like,
it was the best vacation.
We went to like a beach. And
okay. I would hope so in Hawaii. I would hope so.
And like, we went to the pool twice, and we went to the beach like 10 times.
Well, for you guys, can I ask you this? What was for the both of you, and you guys are going to be representing your family, but what would you say was sort of like the biggest highlight? You guys can talk with each other and figure it out, but what do you think was a highlight for the family on the trip? Because I mean, it's huge, right? When you're going to Hawaii, it's the kids' first trip to Hawaii, right? Yeah. So, what do you think was a highlight for you guys?
I think my highlight.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I think my highlight was going to the beach. And making, like, there was this volcano. Pretend like this is the bottom of the sand. We made it, like, up. We made it, like, up.
That's good. I love it.
And then the wave came and swept it away. It was just awesome. Like I mentioned before, Jamie and I have been together 3 or 4 times, but we've never.
This is our first time with the kids.
Gone with the kids, and
it's amazing.
It was Noah's first plane ride, and he was a champion. He's 3 years old, and he was just a total.
Second plane ride.
Even with all the COVID stuff we had to go through on our way out there, he was just a rock star.
Amazing.
I would say the luau. We'd never been to a luau, and we went to a luau. That was awesome.
I have no idea why I forgot that.
And
it's a lot of stuff, man. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to have happen during a Hawaiian vacation.
Sleepiest night of my life.
I bet.
Sleepiest.
We both passed out.
Delicious, right? Absolutely delicious. So here's
wait.
No, go ahead. Go.
So full in the morning. I was like, I can't eat another bite.
Yeah, I get it, man. I totally get it. It was sort of like Thanksgiving in September in a way, right? But it was with pig. So
pig on a spit.
That's it. So here's my big question. So for those of you that are joining us or listening to us, Everly has been an actress for a number of years. Now, Paul and I, for those of you that don't know, we worked down at Disneyland forever, performing and all this stuff. Of course, Paul and Jamie got married, then they had, had their kids, and Everly, and I saw Everly over the years, she'd come out, and you always kind of had, can I ask you this, Everly? Were you always sort of watching mom and dad do their stuff, or would you sometimes sort of get up and start singing or dancing, or what was the thing that made you want to do it? Was it just sort of a version of play for you at first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Can you remember specifically maybe a time that you saw your mom or your dad when they were performing? Can you remember any of those earliest memories at all? I know it's a big one, isn't it? Yeah. I'm assuming it was probably at Disneyland. Do you think?
I have no idea what you just said, but
yeah, me neither. Listen, kid. There's nothing better.
Now, we were lucky in that, when I was a cast member, I could just bring her to the park and we would watch other people perform. She rarely came in and saw mommy or daddy on stage. I do have a picture of us in the horseshoe. Yeah. I was Clem that day, and you were like tiny.
Wow.
But yeah, we definitely miss going to Disneyland. I don't know that other than that, she's seen a whole lot of mommy and daddy on stage. It's probably just more of the camera stuff.
Well, except also for these poly picnics, right? Yeah. So like the times whenever you've done. Yeah, whenever you've done these poly picnics, I mean, eventually you ended up like seeing your mom and your dad perform, but then you'd also end up getting up and performing as well, right? Those are the times you would get up and start singing in front of people, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah. But now I'm a little embarrassed to like sing at school, but
now
I did today.
Now, can I ask you? That's pretty interesting. Why do you think that you get a little? Why do you think you get a little scared about singing in front of kids at school?
I just, like, sometimes I just like singing songs inside of me, and then, like, when I do them to my Nana and Grandpa, I get a little like, do I want to do this? I don't want to. But
interesting. This is a pretty interesting thing, Everly, especially like, because I've seen you now doing a lot of your work, and you're a pretty fearless kid when you're doing this. At least that's what it looks like when I see you in your movies and your shows. What is it that made you want to start doing TV and film and commercials? What made you want to start doing that?
It just seemed fun. And like I got really attached to it by the years, and I just kind of wanted to keep doing it.
I like it. Because Paul, you would just start putting like literally Everly would just, I remember you guys would do your like, Where's Everly adventures, or you also did for those people that aren't familiar, you guys did like this Jedi series for a while when she was a little kid. What was that?
I was always putting her on camera, and what just blew my mind was how quickly and at what such a young age she grasped the concept of what the camera was. And when I asked her to do something on camera, she would do it, and then we would watch it, and then I would like be able to direct her, even like, it sounds crazy, but even before she was like 1 year old. I'd say, we're gonna do that again this time, wait for this, and then do that, and then she would. And it was just like, she just had this natural ability to just wrap her brain around what the process was, I think. And so then after that, it was just kind of a matter of just like, I don't know, make believe playing house, but we're doing it on our little phones and on camera.
Wait, what? Playing house?
Well, kids, back when I was your age, we didn't have video games, or we didn't have video cameras. So we would just play with our friends and our parents. Would play different games like house or
you play like real things of like, oh hey, I'm going to the market, or oh hey, I have to go to the doctor, or sometimes you do things like cops and robbers, right? Because we didn't have, or we do a lot of things, right? Sometimes we'd either have board games, which I'm sure that you're familiar with. You have board games and stuff, but when it came to, go ahead, what do you have?
I have Scrabble,
right?
Monopoly, Candyland,
okay.
And then I have another one that I like, but I forgot the name
of it. Okay.
Well, it's like it. This weekend, you and Noah were playing a lot of Pizza Delivery Man. You were playing that game.
Yeah.
So
Pizza
it's like
delivery man?
when you guys were riding around the backyard delivering pizzas.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Pizza and carrot delivery.
Yeah, so Everly, that's the sort of stuff that your dad and I were doing when we were younger. Like we didn't have as much, the TV stuff or the tablets or the phones or all that stuff. We couldn't get stuff immediately, so we had to do a lot of exactly what you did with Pizza Delivery Man. That was what we had to do, like a majority of our time, do imaginative play. So there you go. So in a way, your dad's saying that you were kind of doing that at a very, very young age. So that was awesome. Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Do you get now this is a great thing. Sorry for people that are listening to this. And by the way, Dana Middleton says here, has anyone ever told Paul how much he looks like his daughter? I don't see it. But anyway, I see it too. Guys are #adorable. Okay.
Thank you.
Everly, this is why it's actually very good talking to you tonight, because sometimes I get approached by parents that think, oh yeah, I think my kid would be great, like working in TV and film. And it's always great to talk to a family that's actually doing it, so that we get the chance to hear a little bit of what it's like behind the scenes, because it's not always the easiest thing, right? Sometimes it's a lot of work and a lot of repetition, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Everly, can you please tell me what's it like for you when you have to go to auditions? And I know auditions are a little stranger now because we mainly do them on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
But what's it like for you?
I think maybe self-tapes would be easier, because like if I mess up a line, you can just boop, 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 retape it like it never happened.
It's pretty awesome.
With go-to auditions, like when you like go to it and you say the lines, like, I mean, if you get it wrong, I mean, that counts. So I like self-tapes.
She really hasn't had a whole lot of go-to auditions. I think she got her agent about 2.5 years ago, and right away it was like she booked a commercial, and then booked Yes Day, and they filmed Yes Day, and then COVID hit. So like everything after that has been virtual. Yeah, pretty much. And so like it's been busy, especially after The Chair came out. She's been getting a lot more auditions, and they're like, it's not just like your commercial audition. It's like really hard scenes that are 5, 6, 7 pages long. So we actually, the past few weekends, that's how we've spent our weekend, is learning the scene and doing the audition.
And
long
story short, I have another audition tomorrow.
Good for you, man. It's amazing. Hey, Everly, when if you're doing an audition, do you tend to memorize most of the scene, or sometimes are you just reading it off of paper? How do you work?
My mom always says, don't worry if you get the lines wrong. And most of the times I memorize it, but she says, don't memorize it, kiddo. I like to have the emotion and not the lines perfect, because which one sounds better? Oh yeah, I forgot to do my homework today. Or, oh yeah, I forgot to do my homework today. Which one sounds better?
I kind of like the first one. The first one feels like you were feeling it a little bit, right? Yes. So you were thinking it a little bit. Yeah,
that's kind of what she wants me to feel.
Yeah, I think that your mom's right on the nose, because you know what we're doing when we're doing this acting stuff? We're trying to replicate real life, right? We're trying to there's kids that are watching you, that as they're watching you, they're going, hey, I've had those feelings as well, Yeah. So when you're doing that, you're kind of being authentic to other kids so they can identify with it. So I want to ask you this. I heard a rumor that when you did Yes Day with Jennifer Garner, okay? I heard that you might have gotten a little scared a couple of times while you were filming the movie. Can you talk about a couple of those times that you might have gotten a little scared? What were those moments that you got scared in?
Car wash.
So car wash. So there's a scene in the movie where the premise of the movie is that the parents are trying to reestablish their relationship with their kids, and they've been kind of going, saying no to everything, and they decide for 24 hours. No. For 24 hours, they're going to say yes to anything that the kids ask for.
Yes.
And one of these scenes is as they're going through a car wash
with the windows down.
The kids ask, we want the windows down for the car wash, and they got to say yes, right? Because that's what they've done. Now, Everly, you were scared. You were a little frightened by this. What were you afraid was going to happen?
I just hated everything. I wasn't afraid of anything. I just hated everything. It was cold. It was wet. Oh, yeah. I hate wet and I hate cold.
Yeah.
Well, and I hate being covered in bubbles. I mean, like a bath is fine, but not like bubbles shooting onto you like crazy.
Well, and here's the funny thing. You have to do that scene at the same time, sort of be excited and laughing at the same time, right?
Yeah, and that's really hard when all you can think about is screaming and getting out of it.
Wow.
It was really fascinating in that, like, once we got the script, that was the thing she couldn't wait to do. She could not wait to go through that car wash. She could not wait to the day they got to shoot the car wash. But it was, what was nuts was they didn't warm up the water at all, and they started the shoot at like sunrise. And it was like somewhere in the valley, and it was super cold.
In the middle of January.
Well, and here's an interesting thing, guys, especially when you're filming, especially with water, and they had to do this with Titanic. You have to usually film with colder water, because if you start filming with hotter water, you start getting steam that can come up and it can start messing up the shot. So that's why they have to do the stuff cold. So that's why, because if you start doing stuff a little bit warm and you get steam that starts coming off of it, you can lose the shot. You can fog up the lenses. You can do all that stuff. So that's why they do it cold. So I'm sorry. So go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
So no, and it was a combination. So she went through the first time, she did it, and that was all they got from her. It was the master.
One shot. Shot.
It was the master shot, and she, if you watch the movie, she has a line in the middle of it, "Mommy, your makeup," and she like nailed that. She nailed, like, anytime you see her, it's like it looks like she's in the scene rather than just hating every second of it. So we're super proud of her for that. And then it was kind of just like a mind game. It was a lot of waiting around, and do we dry off, and do we change again, and she'll probably understand this a lot better, like when she's older and more mature, but like she had producers coming up to her, different producers who weren't talking to each other, every 5 minutes saying, are you okay to do it again? It's okay if you don't want to.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think hearing the "it's okay if you don't want to" so many times just really made her go like, "Oh, okay, I don't want to."
Yes, of course.
And so it ended up being something that Jamie and I had to talk about, like, because a few days later we had the same kind of a situation with the roller coaster when she did a take on the roller coaster, and then they needed a close up, and she was like, "Nope." So it was this crazy thing where it's like, we're not horrible parents, and we had to talk to her and say, like, we're not going to put you in a situation that's dangerous at all, ever, and you kind of have to just trust everybody around you as part of making movies. So it was kind of a big lesson that we learned, where she actually sort of got it the second time around at Magic Mountain, where it was just like, you don't just get to pick what scenes you do and what scenes you don't, because it just doesn't work that way. And that was, I would say that was the biggest lesson she learned on that movie.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because I think in the industry, Everly, because sometimes you're surrounded by a lot of people that they don't have kids. You know what I mean? So you've got like a lot of adults that, and you know how it is with your mom and your dad, or also your teachers that you work with. When you're working with people that know you and love you and know how to talk to you, they know sometimes there's things when we got to help you get through stuff that you don't want to do, or, that you have good days and bad days, but we figure out how to navigate it, because it's how we love it. It's how we love and care for you. In the movies and television shows, sometimes you're surrounded by a lot of people that don't have kids, and it's been a long time since they've been a kid, so they're not sure exactly how to approach a kid. So it's sometimes kind of like, can I help you? What can I do? And I don't know, it's an interesting thing. I'm very proud of you for overcoming that. So congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So here's a couple of big questions I have for you.
Okay.
You worked on this show, The Chair, with Sandra Oh. Everly, you're a heck of a dramatic actress. You're a heck of a dramatic actress, right? And there's some like really, but also what else did you want to say?
And also, anybody watching and anybody who watched The Chair, that one scene, that F-bomb was not me. It was another adult. Okay. It was not me.
Okay, please. Paul, would you like to give any extra explanation for our listeners and viewers?
Okay, so when we first got the script, I think one of
it's heavy. I mean, there's heavy stuff that the kid does, right? Where you kind of go, oh, okay, all right, gotcha.
Yeah. I think the first time we hear her character, the first line we hear from her character in the entire series is the F word, through a door in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And Jamie and I looked at that and we were like, how many more of those are in the season here? Sure. And we looked through and that was the only one. And we were like, so we talked to her manager and
she's not saying that.
No. We said, is there any way like they could get somebody to voice match that? And they were like, oh yeah, no problem. Yeah. So that's what you hear when you hear it in the show is somebody else. I don't know if it was an adult or another kid, but that's one thing people, when they start watching the series, they immediately message us, how are you okay with
right
screaming that? So we're just constantly finding ourselves telling people it wasn't her, she didn't do it, that wasn't her line. And I guess she's picked up on how important or how many times telling people.
No, I totally get that. Now I want to ask you some specific things, but I'll tell you what, actually Dana Middleton's doing something here in the comments which I want to encourage other people on our YouTube chat right now. There's a part of the episodes that deal with you at the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. And Dana wants to know, how was it to dress up for Day of the Dead in the chair? How was that for you?
Liked it. I mean, it was pretty, but also the skirt really itchy.
You're chosen by your school. You're representing and I don't want to give too much away, but you're at your school. You're sort of like a representative for Dia de los Muertos for your school, right? Is that what's sort of the assignment that happens? Yeah. And in an odd way, and please watch the show on Netflix, guys, if you get the chance. But you kind of get to help out the other actor in it, Jay Duplass, he's kind of your mom's boyfriend in a way, but he's also dealing with the loss of a wife that he's lost. And you seem to you have a connection with this guy to be able to sort of go. How were those scenes working with Jay Duplass?
Just, I loved to work with him. He is so nice, but he's amazing. And
sure. Well, go ahead, Paul, please.
This was so when they went to Pittsburgh to film, they were gone for 7 weeks. It was like obviously the longest I'd gone without seeing this girl. And from everything she would tell me every day, she's just like, she and Jay, just like, I don't know if it was like Jay the actor knowing that like behind the scenes, if we have a great relationship, this is going to work really well on screen. Yeah. There's probably a lot of that. There's also obviously a lot of Everly's just an amazing person and you want to be friends with her. But like immediately, I think from day one, they just hit it off. And anytime they were both had free time on set, they were hanging out, playing games, laughing. And Jamie said it was the coolest thing. They just became best friends like immediately.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, you can really tell in the series because you guys really have a great chemistry and really you really seem to enjoy each other's company, and it really works. So well done, Yeah. Can I ask you, is it tough for you playing sort of a kid that has it's a serious role, right? You did love it. What did you like about it? What did you love about it?
I just liked being me in it.
Excuse me. Yeah.
You liked being mean?
No, she liked being me. She liked being a version of herself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I kind of liked to be mischievous.
Yeah, it's fun. That's a fun thing about acting, right? You get to play a character and it's not you, but it's fun.
I know. I like it. Everly, for those people that are listening, if it happens to be like a parent, or if it happens to be a kid actor that says, I want to do that too. I want to do that too. What has it been like when you don't get something? When you don't get something?
You normally don't hear back from them because maybe they want a dark girl or a light girl or 8-year-old when you're 6, or it's just maybe like, even if you worked so hard on it and you hoped you would get it, don't throw a fit. When a good thing, this is like, because I lost a dog a few months ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. What a sweet, sweet guy he was. Absolutely. Go ahead.
When a good thing ends, a good thing happens. So like, if a good thing, like a good audition ends, like you don't get it, that's sad, but another good thing happens. Like, I, for example, wanted this Bean and Ivy audition that I had when I was 5. I didn't get it. But along came another audition, and I got that one, and it turned into Yes Day.
That's amazing, right? Listen to that, ladies and gentlemen. When a good thing ends, it means it's making
happen.
A good thing happens. When a good thing ends, a good thing happens. I love that.
Disney store, like the Disney store closed not a few days ago in the mall, and I was like really sad. I cried, but I said in a small trembling voice, when a good thing ends, a good thing happens.
Kid, I need you to remember that for the rest of your life, okay? It's super, super important. Matthew L. King is on here. He said he had the honor to shoot Everly scenes in The Haunted Man. She takes direction like a seasoned pro. She's the best. So there you have it. Yeah. Hey, what was it like? Because you were shooting The Chair and all this COVID stuff was happening, right? What the heck did they do with you? Was everybody like in masks? How was it on the set when you were doing it?
Crazy. Like, one person forgot to take off their mask. I think maybe Jay forgot to take off his mask, and they said action, and the minute he said a line, they were like, okay, cut. Jay, sorry, take off your mask.
Everybody gets used to it, right? So that was crazy because do they have to do testing with you on a pretty regular basis, Everly? Yeah, so they do would they do the nose? Were they doing the nose thing or the mouth thing with you?
I hate the mouth thing because I almost choked last time.
Okay. Yeah.
They were doing the nose thing. Was it every day?
Yeah, every single day I had to get tested.
And then you guys had to go. Who was it that went out with her, Paul? Was it Jamie? Was it Grandma? Who went out?
Yeah. My mommy and my grandma.
Jamie went for the first 4 weeks, and then my mother-in-law went for the last few. But
10 days.
It was crazy because I wanted to go. I could get away for a couple of weeks, but the way their rules was I couldn't see my family for the first 10 days. I'd have to fly out there and quarantine myself for 10 days, right? And then I could hang out with her. So I was just like, wow, that tacks on 2 more weeks of work.
And also for listeners of the show, this was the stuff that we couldn't tell you back then. Around the time that Paul got COVID, this was around the time. That's right. This was around the time that Paul caught COVID. This was right when Everly was getting ready to go out to Pittsburgh to film this. And so the production ended up putting Paul in a hotel room, for 10 days while they're getting ready to make sure.
This is probably how he was waiting. The clock every single second.
It's funny, though. It wasn't actually The Chair. She was in her last week.
Don't tell them it's not out yet.
But it's on IMDb. We can talk.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
She was filming her last week of the Afterparty, which is
last week of the Afterparty,
an Apple Plus series that's we don't know when it's going to come out, but
maybe in 2022.
So when they found out I had tested positive, they were like, we need these 3 more days to shoot her, and
3 more days.
We need to keep him out. So they put me up in a hotel and came and fogged the house, and
wow,
crazy.
Wait, they fogged that? Oh yeah, they were like,
they got to be careful. Steve Erdeman, I'm so sorry. I'm thinking about our audio mixer.
Be careful with the microphones, but then I think I got home the day before she left for her. No,
I can't go to Pittsburgh and I won't see my child for 4 months.
That was Everly performing as her father. Not bad. Not bad. You kind of look like him.
I think we've established that.
I have longer hair than him.
Okay. That's a good thing. That's
one thing different. Okay, longer hair. Everybody keep that in mind. I've got longer hair than my father.
Kevin's trying to talk to you.
That's okay. It's all right. Listen, Everly, what was it like? What's it like when you're doing school on set? Because I've experienced this with some kids that have done this for commercials. Some of the commercials I worked on. What's it like?
It's a little harder to understand directions because, like, when I was in kindergarten, it wouldn't put any of the directions on the paper, and I would forget all of Miss Beeman's directions.
Is Miss Beeman, and Miss Beeman is who? Miss Beeman is
teacher from her school. Her teacher from school would send work. This is usually how it works with her, even still, would send worksheets that they're actually working on in class that day to set with her. And then she'll have to spend 3 hours with one-on-one coaching or teaching with a teacher before she even goes on set. But yeah, it can be difficult sometimes when there's no instructions on the worksheets. It's just worksheets.
And I'm like, so Dana, what am I supposed to be doing here? And she's all,
But it was really a blessing when she was doing the after party and the chair. That's when schools were virtual, and she was pretty much in class with her classmates and her teacher the whole time.
That's great.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it a lot though, Everly? Because in that case, because I know for Zoom stuff, they were doing some shortened days, right? Were they doing some shortened days with your school regularly for Zoom, or no? Or were they full regular days for you guys?
They were half days.
Okay. So you're kind of doing these half days on Zoom, and you're doing most of them, and then you're also filming a show at the same time. So that's a lot of work you're juggling at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it was really hard to get at first. Like I just start a new amazing worksheet that's all about coloring, and the bad thing is it has math to do with it, but
math can be amazing. I'm actually working with a math educational company now, so math can be pretty cool. It can be. It can change the world.
Math.
I understand. You know what the cool thing is? Can I tell you this, Everly? I'm just sorry, guys. We're going to go off on an education thing for a second. So let me tell you the cool thing that happens with math. Even though sometimes math can be kind of like frustrating, you know what the neat thing is about math over time? Math helps you to practice your problem solving skills. So you may not be doing addition, multiplication, division, or any of that harder stuff, but you know what it does do? It sort of works as like a workout for your brain. So in a way, what you're doing
for my brain.
Yeah, that's right. Trying to get strong. But what you're doing is when you're doing math, you're actually flexing that part of the brain that helps with the logic and the problem solving. So just let you know. Yeah, it really is. So just a thought. You may be frustrated at the moment, but I want you to think about this as like, hey, I'm working out that part of my brain. So I'm just saying. That's all. Look at that.
Working it.
My arms are so tired.
How is it for you now? So we know that you've gone through, we know that you've done the filming stuff. We know that you were able to do the online class stuff. How is it for you now being back in person and doing class stuff? How is it seeing you?
So strict. I mean, I can't even keep how strict it is. Like,
okay.
If somebody has their mask like this, I'm not sure if you can see.
Yeah, I can't. It's just for our listeners. It's just below her nose. She's got it right there, but she's wearing her mask inappropriately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if a kid has it like this,
yes,
Mrs. Hernan's like, put your mask on correctly, and they're like, okay. And if one kid had their mask rolled all the way down and in their hand like this.
Yeah.
And they were like hiding their face away like this, and then London saw,
great name for a kid, by the way. London, great name.
Yeah, London saw him, and she said, Mrs. Tynan, Dial has his mask all the way down and in his hand.
It happens.
Put your mask on right now, Dial.
I get it. Are you happy to be able to see your friends in person though now?
Yeah.
It's awesome, right?
I finally have one of my best friend from kindergarten.
Yes.
Back in class with you.
Great.
Zoe Rogers.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
What's her name? What's her name?
Zoe Rogers.
Zoe Rogers. Great. Fantastic. I'm very glad that you guys are reconnected.
Not the kind with the Z-O-E, not Zoe Rodriguez, but Z-O-E-Y. Zoe.
Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Everly, I know that you can't talk about the stuff that's coming up next for you. But is this you enjoy doing this, right? You enjoy sort of the acting and the performing. Have you thought about maybe other stuff that you might try to do? I mean, how old are you? Please remind us.
I'm 7.
You're 7 years old. So you're in 2nd grade. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a whole bunch of life that's in front of you. So for right now, it's about doing this acting also. Do you ever think about stuff that you might want to do that's outside of acting?
Be a firefighter.
Oh, really? Yeah. Is that right? What inspires you about that?
Well, I kind of don't want to be a firefighter.
You want to be a firefighter, but you don't want to be a firefighter. She's telling your dad not to listen right now.
Hey, take off your headphones. You're not allowed to listen to this. Because I just don't feel like brave enough because I told earlier I wasn't double not brave because I told my friends I was brave enough to tell my friends that I was.
Go ahead, keep going.
I don't know.
Please keep going.
Hard when you're making stuff up, huh?
No, I'm not.
She was double brave. She was double brave.
Everly, stop. So right now she's working on we won't say the title of it, but she's
working on a VOV.
A voiceover. She's the lead voice on this new animated show that's I'm not gonna say anything I shouldn't.
Yes, you are.
That's educational and bilingual and
oh, cool.
How many episodes are going to be in the first season? She's been working on it for a while. She goes to set or the studio once a week to knock out a couple of episodes. 40 episodes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
40 episodes a day. I do 40 episodes a day.
Is that how many is in the first season?
Probably.
So I think they're waiting to I don't know.
That would make sense. That would make sense if it's like a 5-day. If it's going to be like a 5-day week thing, that'd probably be 8 week. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So she's been doing a lot of that, and
I've done 10 episodes.
Like I mentioned, we're getting into auditions that are pretty heavy and stuff we've never dealt with before.
Pretty heavy.
And it's been a real interesting thing, Kevin. Trying to guide her to something that she can't relate to.
I understand that. Yeah.
If it's a super dramatic scene and mommy and daddy are fighting.
Oh yeah, I hate when my parents squabble. Did I tell you that?
Not like we ever do, and that's why. But just in trying to direct her and giving her intention behind certain lines, but she's just never experienced the
emotions before.
Right. I have never experienced that.
It's been it's been a fun thing, but I mean, we always tell her as soon as this isn't fun anymore, we're gonna stop. So
no, that's awesome. I don't want to stop.
That's a good thing. It's an interesting thing, right, Paul? Like you and Jamie, what you have to navigate, especially as parents, because it's, I remember listening to Daniel Radcliffe talking about, the night that he was offered Harry Potter and the long conversation that he had with his parents, because it was a big deal. They knew that when they were going to do this, that it was going to change the direction of his life. And that they, and he was a kid, he was about 10 years old at the time. But they kind of made that decision together as a family. And he really spoke about it with honor. But I know that you and Jamie are awesome parents. And it's evident in how Everly and Noah are, you know what I mean? That you've been really working together, and you guys are a very open, communicative family. And there's a communicative. That's right.
Never heard of it.
Well, now you did. So congratulations, kid.
So what's communicative supposed to mean?
Well, not communicative. It's like communicative. Here, let's try it together. Let's try communicative. Try that.
Communicative.
Look at that. You did it. Communicative. I remember.
I said communicative.
Okay, let him talk.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, Everly's always been smart as a whip, man. I'll tell you that. I remember just having a big conversation with her when I was, gosh, you must have been about 3.5 or 4 years old over at the.
Remember that?
Oh, I do, because I tell you, kid, I've been able to just hold like regular conversations with you like you were a full-grown adult, man. So you're pretty awesome. So here's the big questions I have just before I wrap it up. First, I'm going to ask Dad a question, and then I'm going to end it with you on a question. Okay. So we ready? Okay. Paul, what would be your advice to parents that are looking to get their kids involved in this, that they think like, hey man, I think we want to do this? What would be the advice that you would give? And you'll also be speaking for Jamie on this too.
Yeah, I get that question a lot, and people will hit us up and, congratulations on everything your daughter's doing. Hey, my daughter kind of wants to do that too. What would you suggest? And I just, it's such a case by case thing. Like there wasn't anything that we did. We just, I guess it was just my personality, always having her on camera, and her desire to be on stage and perform in front of people. It has to be something that like the kid really wants to do, and enjoys. Obviously, you never want to get in a situation where it's stage parents or industry parents just pushing the kid. And I would just say, give the kid enough space to come into their own, really, in whatever they want to do, whether it's the acting or the dancing or filmmaking, and just kind of take your cue from them rather than pushing them.
Yeah. I love it. Now, Everly, here's my big question for you.
Okay, question.
Big question. What advice would you give to a kid that says, I want to do this? What would your advice be to a kid that wants to act?
My advice would be, don't try and memorize the lines, because you already know the lines.
Nice.
Just get the feeling.
Get the feeling. I love it. Any special wishes that you want to give to anybody that's out here that's listening? Any good wishes that you want to tell anybody?
I hope that you get a few auditions that you like. And one big announcement.
Can you make a big announcement? Okay, have you checked with your dad? But I'm going to let you do it anyway. Forget about your dad. Go for it. Make your big announcement, kid.
I lost my tooth on Saturday or Sunday.
What are you talking about? Congratulations. Can we see it? Can we see it? Which one?
Yeah, it's right there.
Congratulations, kid. How long was it loose for?
Like 5 weeks.
Yeah, it was kind of wiggling, huh? You were doing the tongue wiggle thing, right?
Yeah, and like I took a bite of my donut. Bleed. And once we went out to lunch one day, the tooth fairy came in the day.
What are you talking about? How much did you get?
Like, I got $5.
Oh my gosh!
No, I got $5 in the how many dollars did I get?
I think wasn't it $1.02?
Yeah, $1.50.
Wow, that's $1.50, man! Congratulations.
Hey Kevin, can I share this?
Oh, there it is, kid. That Everly, this was the conversation that you and I had. I think you're about 3.5 years old, man. We were having a good time there. It was awesome.
June 1st, 2017, she would have been 3. She just turned 3 in May.
And Everly, you're so good at doing those. You're so good whenever you do that fancy first step. We've done it here on the show before. We had our director, Chris Utley, that was on the show, but you, man, you rocked it with that Mr. Smythe and Mr. Jones song. It was really, really cool.
Thanks.
So you're pretty awesome. Well, Everly, can I tell you something? It's been absolute joy and pleasure to have you on the show. And I wish you nothing but continued success, young lady. So please keep feeling those feelings that you're having, because you're doing an awesome job. So well done. You bet.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
My pleasure. You can thank your dad too, because if it wasn't for your dad, the two of us wouldn't be doing this show. We've been doing this show for over a year and a half now. Crazy, right?
Everybody out there watching, I just want to say big kisses and hugs. I hope we
dig it.
See each other soon.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's one way that people can kind of give us big kisses and hugs. Paul, what's one way that people can give us big kisses and hugs for?
If you enjoyed the show today, go ahead and leave us a positive review wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, wherever you consume your podcasts. Give us those thumbs up or those stars or a review, and that'll help people who like things like this find things like this and this.
Dig it. If you're watching us here on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and also share it with a friend. That's the best way that you can help the show as we just try to grow it.
And I have a one-eye, one-horn flying purple people eater shirt.
It's the only way to roll, kid. It's the only way to roll. Remember, head over to VaudacityNetwork.com to see amazing different shows that are over there. A variety of different things are coming up. And for past episodes of Your Creative Journey podcast, you can also go to YourCreativeJourneyPodcast.com.
And also to see my dad's show that he likes to make called The Cove, with a stuffy unicorn, that's my favorite mystical animal, named Michelle in every The Cove video.
I love it.
Yes.
Just go to YouTube and I think maybe click in Paul Carganilla, The Cove, and you should see it.
I love it, man.
Probably the first one where he's like holding Michelle like this in like a cove.
Who needs an agent when you got a kid like that, Paul?
Right? Or a PR person.
That's it. All right, everybody. I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners and watchers tonight. Charity, Christina, Dari, you guys are amazing. Dana, Paso a Paso. Thank God for all of you guys. Krista,
goodbye,
Matthew, all you guys, Angelica. All right, guys. We're gonna end the show. Paul, Everly, I'm gonna say goodnight to you guys as well. Thank you so much for your time. Get some rest, kid. Okay, do you have school? You got school tomorrow?
Yeah.
Did you do your homework?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, go get them, guys. All right, everybody.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everybody.
We'll see you later, everybody. God bless you.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye, guys. Bye, gang.